Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday everyone. Hope everyone is having a good week. It is a gorgeous day here in Austin, Texas. The sun is shining. There was a great day yesterday. I think it's going to be another good day today. So I'm going to record this show, go out, maybe go get some exercise, play some basketball. I got a couple errands to run later. Overall, I think it's going to be a really good day, guys. So hopefully you guys are having a good one. Hopefully you are enjoying it wherever you are. And there's some stuff to talk about today. Obviously, there's some comments made in regards to the Snyder cut that I want to talk about. We got Marvel or Disney releasing some dates for some films, and that's going to take up a majority of the time, guys. It's going to be a day of speculation and theories, maybe some harsh opinions, perhaps too, so forgive me for that. But there's not a lot on the agenda, just kind of those two main things. But let's do some housekeeping things first. So, starting off, I have been playing Jedi Fallen Order, and it's awesome. Now, I will admit, I'm not good at video games. The only video games I've played the last couple of years have been NHL hockey games. And honestly, maybe I'm not that great at those anyway. But other than that, I'm not a gamer. I don't play video games. But I bought a PS4 strictly to play Jedi Fallen Order because it's the exact type of game that I like. It's Star Wars, it's adventure, you're playing as a Jedi, kicking ass, and that's what I love, and that's why I like it. Finally kind of figured out the controls. I was playing it for a couple hours yesterday, and I think I got kind of the hang of everything, how to read the maps, how to defend from adversaries. So I'm doing better, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm only about 30% through the game too. The story's pretty good too. Again, I'm not way into it yet, but I think it's going to get better. I will tell you though, they did come out with that prequel comic or tie-in comic Marvel did, and I've read a little bit of it, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I don't see how it ties in. Now I see how it ties in. The backstory of it all, I see how it ties in the video game, so I get it. So I'm actually going to go back and reread some of those issues of the Jedi Fallen Order tie-in comic, just so I can get a better sense of the story of the video game. But if you haven't played it yet, go check it out. If you have, let me know what you think. Let me know if you beat it already, and we'll go from there, guys. Sticking with Star Wars, Entertainment Weekly just released an article about Rise of Skywalker, along with a new cover for their special edition, and of course some new photos to go along with it too. I went through, I skimmed the article. It was okay. It nothing really that shocked me per se, or any new information that I didn't already know. But there was a thing where they were talking to J.J. Abrams about how this really does kind of tie up all the loose ends. They're not expecting anything after this as far as the Skywalker saga. And the article made an interesting point to where it does kind of tie up Star Wars as we know it, but also is the beginning of a new era of Star Wars, because we're done with the Skywalkers after Episode 9 and moving into other characters, other time periods. There's TVs, there's video games. Sure, we're not getting a movie for a while, but there's books, comics, other forms of media that will continue the story between now and the next film and beyond then. And again, it is an interesting era because it's the end of Star Wars as we know it, of the Skywalker family, what we're used to. So it's going to be interesting how that moves on, how the audience responds away from the Star Wars that we've known for over 40 years. But anyway, the article, it's up online. I know I put it on the Twitter page, so you can check it out there. There's 3 different covers. One is, from the original trilogy, one's a prequel trilogy, and one's the new trilogy, or the Rise of Skywalker one. Go check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. All right, so first official story on the agenda. Disney came out and had a couple announcements the other day in regards to upcoming film slate. Now, of course, they set out some films for their upcoming Marvel projects, which I'll get to in just a few minutes. And then a couple other things they did in regards to possible Fox projects or old Fox projects. First off, they canceled the Bob the Burgers movie, which I was looking forward to because I'm a big Bob the Burgers fan. So I was disappointed in that. But another thing they did was they pushed back the Kingsman prequel. According to Hollywood Reporter, they pushed back the Kingsman 7 months, all the way back to September. It was supposed to come out in February. It's interesting because this story came out, I believe it was yesterday, and I posted it. And then last night I went and saw Ford v Ferrari. And there's a trailer for the Kingsman, and it says February 14th. And I'm like, might want to check your dates on that one before you keep running this trailer. And that's the interesting thing is we've got what, 2 trailers for this film now. All of them say it was going to come out in February, and now they decide to push it back. A little late in the game, I think, promotional-wise, to push a film back. Like I said, we've gotten 2 trailers already. People are expecting this. It's playing in theaters as of yesterday, or probably today even. It's still playing in theaters, saying it's going to come out February 14th. I'm a little disappointed because I'm looking forward to this film. Now, I really liked the first Kingsman film. It was a surprise how much I liked it, to be honest. The sequel, not so much. But Matthew Vaughn, who directed the first Kingsman film, is coming back to direct this one. It's a prequel. It's kind of got a period piece to it, which I think is fascinating. You got Ralph Fiennes in there, as well as other people of great caliber. I was looking forward to this one. A little disappointed it's being pushed back, going to September 18th, 2020. It's one of those things where I think Disney is still trying to sort out what to do with their Fox properties. All these films that they inherited from Fox, they're still trying to figure out, where's the best way to put them, which ones they need to complete, which ones they don't. Disney has to take stock of what's to come, figure out when is the best time frame to put it so it'll make the most money, obviously, but also make sure it doesn't compete maybe with their other films that they have coming up in regards to Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, Disney, other stuff like that. Again, it's just, it's a bunch of pieces, still trying to figure everything out, trying to, position everything properly. So I think that's what it is. I think it has nothing to do with the quality of the film or the fact that the film's not ready yet. I don't see that at all. At least I hope not. But again, I think it's just it's Disney messing with release dates, especially since the fact that, on the same day we did get the cancellation of the Bob's Burgers films, the Marvel release dates. It's just them, again, trying to position everything from what they have to what they inherited. And again, I think the film looks good. Matthew Vaughn, good director. He's done some solid work. He didn't direct the sequel. So again, I give the Kingsman's first film a positive review. The second one a negative review. But Vaughn didn't direct the second film. So really, I don't count that too much. This one, again, I think it looks interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Disappointed it got pushed back. But I'm interested to see it, guys. Fire back. Let me know what you think about the Kingsman being pushed back to September. Do you think it has to do with the quality of the film and it needs work? Or, like me, do you just think this has to do with Disney acquiring Fox Films and trying to rearrange stuff and position everything at the right time? Let me know. Okay, guys, I got 2 more subjects on the agenda, and honestly, I don't know which one to go with first. Of course, I have the recent Snyder, or released the Snyder Cut comments to talk about, and then I also want to talk about some movie dates. I'm going eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Watch this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, Marvel won. They're going first. Okay, guys, so we'll go this, and then I'll save the Snyder Cut controversy for my last story of the day. Okay, so, like I said, Disney came out, talked some release dates in regards to films, and they talked about Marvel Studio films. We got, 4 new release dates? Possibly more on the agenda. Basically, the way it's going to be is Marvel is releasing 4 films in 2022 and 4 films in 2023. And of course, now this gives us the big question mark of what are these films going to be? So to do that, I made a little bit of a graphic, so to speak, of kind of laying out the Marvel release schedule for the next couple of years. Guys, I don't do my own graphics, okay? That's just, it's not me at all. So I put this together on Windows Paint. That's why it looks so horrible. But to be honest, the fact that I don't do this stuff makes me kind of proud, actually, a little bit of it, because, again, I'm horrible at this, as I'm horrible at a lot of things. But this, I don't think it looks completely bad. I mean, you tell me how you think about this graphic if you're watching on YouTube. And, of course, I released this on the Facebook group, too. But anyway, okay. So, May 1st, 2020, you got Black Widow. We still don't know a lot about it. I think it's D23. They got some footage from it. We don't even know what time frame this is in. Is this before we first see her in Iron Man? Is this in between the other Marvel films? I would like to see it in between Infinity War and Endgame, that 5-year period. I think there's a lot you can do with that. I don't think that's it. From what I heard, I think it's going to be set in between Civil War and Infinity War. In which case, I think we get some appearances by Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Anthony Mackie, and other people along with that. I don't know, but we'll wait for a trailer. Hopefully it's coming out soon. Well, May 1st. So I would say first trailer, I could see it coming with Star Wars next month. 6 months out. That sounds like a good time. So I can see it. A first trailer coming, or a teaser trailer coming with Star Wars next month. They're both Disney owned. Then November 6th, 2020, got Eternals with Angelina Jolie and crew. I'm not excited about it. I don't know much about the Eternals. I've tried, I think, to get into a little bit. It's one of those things, kind of like the Inhumans. Inhumans, it's one of those things I've tried to get into throughout the years. I've read some comics, and I just can't get into them. And the Eternals, I probably know less about than I do the Inhumans, but again, it's something that doesn't interest me, but that could all turn around. I mean, I had no interest in Guardian of the Galaxy until, they made a film about it. Then I went, read a couple of books, loved them, and was excited for the film. However, this is kind of the opposite where, I heard they were making Inhumans. I went back, read some of the books, didn't like them, so c'est la vie. All right, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's coming out February 12th, 2021. Again, another one that could be cool, not totally excited about. And that's the thing with this new release schedule. There's not a lot. All the new stuff like Eternals and Shang-Chi, I'm not excited for. Even Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness that comes out May 7th, 2021, I'm not super excited for. I'm more excited for that because it's a character I know, and I know it's going to tie into WandaVision, the Disney Plus series. So that could be cool. July 16, 2021, you got the third Spider-Man film. That's going to be, I think, the last film, Spider-Man film at least, that Marvel and Sony collaborate on. I could talk more about that, but I have talked about it before. If you go back and look at previous shows I've done, I've talked about my feelings about that deal, so I don't want to get into that. November 5th, 2021, Thor, Love and Thunder, the fourth Thor film, comes out at that time. Then we have a question mark there, February 18th, 2022, and rounding it out, May 6th, 2022 is the Black Panther sequel. So then beyond that, it's all question marks. July 29th, October 7th, 2022, and then in 2023, you got February 17th, May 5th, July 28th, and November 3rd. All of them spaced out about 3 months or so, which seems good. It's a good time to do that. So if you look over to the side, I have in development ones we know are getting worked on. Besides Black Panther 2 and Spider-Man 3, you also have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We know James Gunn's working on that after he finishes Suicide Squad. They've talked about the Ant-Man 3. Peyton Reed is signed to come back to do another Ant-Man film. And then, of course, there's the big announcement on Comic-Con that Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade in an upcoming Marvel project. I guess we don't know if it's a movie, but we're gonna assume it's a movie if you make a grandstand of it all at Comic-Con or bring out an actor like Mahershala Ali. You got to assume it's going to be a Blade film. And since those are the ones that are in development, those are the ones I'm probably going to pick as to, be closest to those early release dates. Now, February 18th, 2022, that's not a Guardians of the Galaxy spot. Guardians of the Galaxy is a high property from Marvel and Disney. You don't put that in a February date. I mean, it could capitalize on the dead season of movies, but I don't think you do that. Though with that, I'm thinking July 29th, 2022, or you jump to May 5th, 2023. Now, given the fact that, again, James Gunn has to finish Suicide Squad, you give it 2 to 3 years to make the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mean, I guess I'd probably put it more that May 5th or July 28th, 2023. Again, that's just prime real estate for a film like Guardians of the Galaxy, so I would definitely give it that. Now, Ant-Man 3 is a little bit of a different beast because it's not as successful as, say, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Ant-Man it's one of my most underrated Marvel films, the original Ant-Man film, and I did enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp. I've only seen it once. I have it on Blu-ray. I probably should watch it again just to get a better assessment of how I feel about the film, but I didn't love it, and it didn't do as good as some of the other Marvel films. It still did fine, but not as good as some of the other ones. So I think it might need a little help, less competition perhaps, so I could see that sliding into maybe October 2022, maybe February 2023. That February 18th, 2022 is still such a mystery because you've got about 2 years or so before that comes out, so you got to think it's a film that they're starting to cast at this point, at least, and have to start filming within maybe the next 6 months or so, at least in my eyes, I think maybe. So that's kind of a big question mark. Blade, I don't know, honestly, on that one. I mean, I'm hoping this is one of those things where they announce him like they did Dwayne Johnson for Black Adam, and it takes another 7 to 8 years before the film actually comes out. Marvel's not like that. I don't think they're going to do that. So with Blade, I would gladly put him in, say, October 7th, 2022, mainly because, Blade is a vampire, and I think they could definitely have a horror slant to this film, and what better way to put it with the month of Halloween. That'd be pretty cool, but, we'll see about that. And then, of course, below that, guys, I have other possibilities. We know a Captain Marvel 2 is going to be announced at some point. Highly successful, billion-dollar film. And Kevin Feige has said that Captain Marvel is going to be a key character in the Marvel Universe going forward. Avengers 5, it's coming at some point. Obviously, the stockholders of Disney and Marvel are not going to let the most successful franchise or film title of all time, just lay down and go away. No, you capitalize on that. So Avengers 5, is coming. Fantastic Four. Now, there have been some people who said maybe Peyton Reed might direct a Fantastic Four film because he's expressed interest in it. I think that'd be cool. I think his style definitely fits a Fantastic Four film. To me, Marvel needs to put out a Fantastic Four film before an X-Men film because of the perception, I think. Now, X-Men kind of landed on a down note as far as the Fox franchise, with Dark Phoenix that bombed, Apocalypse, not a lot of people liked. I enjoyed it, but not a lot of people did. But X-Men films, for the most part, have had better films or been shown in a better light than the Fantastic Four films. So I think Fantastic Four is in much more need of an update and a makeover than the X-Men films. We can put X-Men down the line a little bit. I mean, I'd put them at the very end, November 3rd or July 28th, 2023, if they were to, be the farthest out. Fantastic Four, if it were me, I'd fast track Fantastic Four. But Kevin Feige has said, a year or two ago, he's already got the next 5 years planned out. So chances are none of these films actually are Fantastic Four or X-Men. I get it. But if you start sprinkling them in throughout the films, that'd be cool. If Ant-Man 3 was to come out within that time frame and Peyton Reed does direct a Fantastic Four film, you're not going to see that till probably 2024 maybe at the earliest. So I understand that. But I think Fantastic Four has the most potential to be breakout, in my opinion, because I like Fantastic Four. I've read many Fantastic Four books. I know how great they can be. But again, like other characters, I know how bad they can be as well if not done right. So it's a touch and go, but I think the world is ready for Fantastic Four. I think Kevin Feige knows what he wants to do with them and X-Men. It's just in the execution. And unlike some other studios, he knows that you have to wait and wait till the right time to pull the trigger. Otherwise, you're going to get a mess. And I'm going to talk about that mess in just a few moments. Another one that could be on the horizon that I think about is a Silver Surfer. Of course, tied into Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer, a very popular character, space odyssey, adventure. It could be a very interesting film. Part of me says you need to tie that in with Fantastic Four, so it needs to be down the road. But a part of me says, no, you can do it. You can do like a prequel almost, and then, have his own thing going on there. I think that'd be really cool. But again, these are just possibilities that I think are going to happen. I think Captain Marvel 2 and Avengers 5 are definite possibilities. Whether they fit into one of these time slots, I think they're the most likely to. Fantastic Four, I'd love to see fit into one of these spots. X-Men and Silver Surfer, honestly. Silver Surfer, that's a far long shot, really. But X-Men, it's too popular of a property not to try to get in there as soon as possible. Maybe they want to put some distance between the Fox films and what they're about to start. But again, X-Men is one of Marvel's most popular characters. So I don't see why you don't fast track that too. But again, it's Kevin Feige. He knows better than I do. He knows a lot better than any of us. So I'll give him the credit for that. Of course, the main probably possibility is that these big question marks are characters or projects we have not even heard about yet. I would love to see them redo Daredevil, redo Iron Fist. Those are two of my favorite Marvel characters, so I'd love to see them do something like that, even throw in Defenders. I'd love to see, throw in a Punisher, throw in a Daredevil, throw in some obscure characters. Howard the Duck. Give me the Howard the Duck film. I know they're doing the animated stuff on Hulu, but I think Howard the Duck would be a great character. Another wacky character, which you could throw in and maybe off-spin from Guardians, Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's one of the current crazy characters, or I would say the current Deadpool, where he's very much a fan favorite. There's a whole story there. If you don't know about him, don't worry about it, but that'd be a long shot as well. But all right. I'm done talking about this, guys, because I could go in and talk about possibilities forever. Fireback, your turn. What do you think in development? Where do you think those fit in? Possibilities, what do you want to see? All that stuff, guys. Fireback on the Facebook group, Twitter account, Dayspring Discussions at gmail.com. Let me know what you think Marvel has coming down the pipe. Okay, so last story of the day, and it's going to be a doozy. Okay, 2 years ago. It's been 2 years since Justice League came out in theaters, which is the culmination of several films. You started off with Man of Steel, then you got Batman v Superman, you got Suicide Squad, which really doesn't tie in too much to the world, then you got Wonder Woman, and then you got Justice League. And along the way, it was pretty bumpy, guys. Man of Steel, I remember I saw that it was my first Father's Day, and I was Superman. I was a Superman fan, so I wanted to go see it in the best possible screen. So I wanted to go downtown in IMAX. My wife and my friend who were going to go with me were like, no, we want to go to a closer theater. We don't want to spend all that time going all the way downtown. And I'm like, fine, you go. I'm going to go. And it was Father's Day, so let me go. And I saw it a couple times, and I don't like the film. I mean, there are things I like about the film. I like Henry Cavill. I like the action, but there are certain plot points that I really did not enjoy about the film. So it's touch and go. Batman v Superman, that was a train wreck. I could not stand that film. By the time we got to the end of it, I was like, is this film done yet? Because please get me out of here. Then I saw the ultimate cut, where you add 30 minutes back into the film, and honestly, it restored my faith in Zack Snyder. But then we get the idea that Zack Snyder's been released. At first, they said a phony thing about having to deal with the loss of his child, which, was totally true and totally sympathetic for him. I totally agree about, stepping away from the project. But also we come to find out that because of the, failures of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, they fired him, brought in Joss Whedon, who was a geek favorite, to finish the film. This is, of course, during the fact that because of Batman v Superman as well, they, David Goyer, not David Goyer, who is the guy who directed Suicide Squad? I forget his name. He did Fury with Brad Pitt. Good director. Loved Fury. Anyway, they fired him, brought in a trailer company to edit the film, finish the film. That's why that turned out like crap. Hate Suicide Squad. I'm glad James Gunn's redoing it. Hopefully they won't reference the other ones. Move on from there. Anyway, you get to Justice League, and it's, when it comes out to it, they said it's directed by Joss Whedon, not Zack Snyder. And you can feel it. You can feel that influx. It was just a mess of a film. Of course, there's the whole mustache gate with Henry Cavill's mustache, where he had to come back and do reshoots for the film, but he was already shooting Mission Impossible, where he had the mustache, and he was under contract where he couldn't lose the mustache, so they had to digitally redo it. It looked horrible. The very first shot of Justice League was him in the digitally taken away mustache, and it did not start off well. So the film doesn't do well. WB starts to question their whole strategy in regards to their DC shared cinematic universe and their DC heroes, and it shows because the next film to come out was Aquaman, which they hardly mentioned the events of Justice League. Shazam lives in that world, but you don't get a lot of references in there. And then along with it, of course, Ben Affleck's gone as Batman. They haven't confirmed it, but you're pretty sure Henry Cavill's gone as Superman. If he was still Superman, they would have shown his face at the end of Shazam. Along with that, Wonder Woman's coming in, probably the most tied to the Justice League film, but I don't see too many references going on there. Birds of Prey, I don't want to talk about that film. Don't want to talk about it, among other things, pretty much. But ever since it was released, we know that there was footage that Zack Snyder shot that was not used. That there is a cut, so to speak, of the film that is not finished. The effects aren't done. The sound's not edited. Score's not in there. Coloration, all that stuff. It's very rough. And from what we've learned, there's almost like 3 cuts, which makes sense considering there's 3 cuts of Watchmen that Zack Snyder did. So understandable about that. So within the last couple days, several cast members have come out and said, joined the movement of #release the Snyder Cut. And this has been going on for years because a lot of people were unhappy with the Justice League film. They liked the direction, the dark direction, or dark take, I guess you would say, of the films of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and thought that Snyder was going the right route, being very different from what Marvel was doing. Understandable. Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman, has tweeted about it. Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, has tweeted about it. And now Ben Affleck, who played Batman. And this isn't just, anybody. This is Ben Affleck. He's a respected director, respected actor in the industry. And, of course, he played, Batman in the film. Gal Gadot, who, is Wonder Woman, still have a Wonder Woman film coming out. So she still has to play nice with Warner Brothers, or she might be in a little bit of trouble. She came out with #release the Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder came out and said, thanks everyone for the continued support. Former WB president came out with #release the Snyder Cut. It has had a resurgence. And all I can say about it is, what the hell? So here's my understanding of it all, how I think it's gone down, how it should go down, etc., based on my thoughts on all this messed up stuff. People who are like, release the Snyder Cut, it's out there, it's made. It's not finished, guys. I just said, even Zack Snyder himself says effects aren't in there, score's not in there, coloration, all that stuff that needs to be a completed, presentable project are not done. Now, anyone, whether it's Zack Snyder, Warner Brothers, whoever wants to finish that and release a cut of it, we're talking millions of dollars. Justice League itself has already taken a pretty big bath on losing Warner Brothers money. Do they want to invest another $20-30 million at least into finishing all that? I don't think they do. Now, I would like it. Like I said before, I didn't like Man of Steel, but I didn't hate it, I guess. I've grown to not hate it. I still don't like it. Batman v Superman, what happened was I saw the ultimate cut. I saw pretty much what Zack Snyder wanted to do with the film before Warner Brothers took it away from him. And that's obvious. It's obvious that Warner Brothers, because of Man of Steel, they were a little weary on Superman. All the 30 minutes that were taken out of that film were all like Henry Cavill Superman stuff. They didn't take any Batman stuff out. If you watch the original film and watch the ultimate cut, they were trying to make a Batman film, which pissed me off, and I don't really want to get into that right now. But anyway, I saw what Zack Snyder's vision could have been for the film. And then there were talks and articles about how he wanted to complete his Man of Steel 5-part film with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, 2-part Justice League film, and then another Man of Steel film. I would have loved that. After that, I would love to see it, and that's why I would love to see the Zack Snyder cut. Finished, though. I don't want to see it unfinished, okay? I just tweeted yesterday, if they don't finish the film, or if it's, give me something with green screens or whatever, I don't want to see that. Give me a script. I'll sit down and read Zack Snyder's original script, and I'll be satisfied with that. I don't know if a lot of people would be satisfied with that, but I would be satisfied with just getting the story of what it could have been. Because we moved on, guys. It doesn't matter, people think they feel they need to be vindicated, justified for liking Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and what would have been Justice League. They feel like they want this film to justify all the critics who were against the films. But it doesn't matter. We need to move on. Warner Brothers has moved on. They've got a new Batman. They're going a different direction. And they don't want to invest millions and millions of dollars in something they might not get a return on. However, I'm going to put a however before people start screaming at me or whatever. However, like I said, I would love to see it. I would love to see that story. I totally would. If it is economically possible, we all know, people have been talking about it, HBO Max is the best place to put this. You don't have to worry about releasing it on DVD, so you don't worry about, making the disc, spending money on the packaging, spending on shipping, giving a cut to the stores like Best Buy or Walmart. You just spend the money on putting it together and release it on HBO Max. That would be good. That would be a way to lure more people, I think, to HBO Max. Again, more subscribers equals more money, which means recouping your losses. That's great. That, I think, would be, if any scenario were to happen where the film would be finished and put anywhere, I think that's the most likely and the most sensible thing to do with it. Again, it comes down to, is Warner Brothers willing to do it? From their statements, they put out a statement. They're not. They still have no plans to put out the Snyder Cut. So they have no plans to invest the money into it. I understand that. Totally get it. You know what? They're moving on. Everyone else should just move on, I think, in that point too. But again, I would like to see it. I'll be satisfied, though, if I see a script too. If I don't see either, we'll just move on, guys. Shit happens. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you move on. That's life. That's all we got. So, okay. I'm sure a lot of people aren't happy with me about my opinion on that. Some people are like, yeah, we should move on. It's a heated issue, to say the least. And again, I reiterate, I would love to see it because, after seeing the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman and what Zack Snyder wanted to do, what I saw he was going with all of it, I think it'd be great. But it's going to cost too much money to finish, and Warner Brothers doesn't see the point of doing it, and I totally understand them. So There you go. All right, guys. Well, that is it for me today. I think I have said my piece on a lot of stuff here, but it's time for you to fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know. Snyder Cut, where do you stand on it? Marvel films, what do you think the release dates are? And of course, Kingsman, are you excited for this film? Do you find it weird they're pushing it back? Do you find it's, like me, part of just the juggling and positioning of the previous Fox films that Disney inherited? Fire back, of course. Let me know about any of the things you think about. Slim Dayspring 12, that's my handle on Instagram and Twitter. Fire back on me there as well. That's it, guys. Go out, enjoy your week. I'm not going to do a show probably on Thursday. I got a busy work week the later half of the week. I am going to try to get the Star Wars New Hope review. Lisa and I watched Star Wars, of course. We're going through the Star Wars films and reviewing them, and we watched New Hope. I haven't done the review. Maybe we can sit down tonight and do that, and then at least I will get that up this week. So that's it, guys. Go out, enjoy your week, live your best life, and until next time, may the Force be with us all.